driving through the streets of Chennai. A lot of memories, the place where you grew up.
Now we're going to Nungampakam, which is, I was born in Perambur, which is another big railway area. And I grew up in Nungampakam, which is where all the railway colonies are, Nungampakam, Hatters Road, all that. And my school and college were around about there, so we'll see that shortly. This is, of course, Mount Road, one of Chennai's main arteries.
Those days, growing up, were you ever exposed to the traffic? Did you have to commute around and all that by yourself?
I used to go to college by cycle from Besant
Ah,
I just used to take my bike and go there, and I don't recall it being difficult at all.
around 10 kilometers.
I think sheer, just the number of cars must have been a incredibly small fraction of what it is today, and that must be the difference. Got around effortlessly. Traffic was a phenomenon, came along much later. I think roughly in the 90s, it must have been when it started. I simply don't remember it before that.
And before that, to your Don Bosco school, commuting, that was also by cycle or bus, or how was it?
It was only a few months. My dad moved here, and I had like 4 months of school left before I did my plus 2 exams. So that was very short. I think my father would drop me at school and things like that, because you had to go much earlier. In college, I was in evening college, so I was more relaxed. But really, by the time I came here, I was almost in time to do my BCom, so different stage.
Have you ever driven a vehicle in Chennai at all? I mean, for, let's say, day-to-day commute?
I used to have a license, and I used to drive around a lot. And I've gone to, not school, I've gone to Loyola many times by car. So I take my Maruti and drive off there. Again, very long ago. Then at some point I started traveling, and I felt that I've lost touch with driving, and I shouldn't restart abruptly. And the problem is, again, just when you get used to it, you go off again, you lose touch again, and so on. So I gradually went off driving myself.
When you lived in Spain, did you ever do any driving, long drives and all that?
I did not bother there either.
Never took a license.
It was very easy to manage without a license, and similar problem. I would start to do my learning, and then I would go off for a tournament, and it just didn't make sense ever. So I never tried there. There I used public transport or taxis, and just whatever I needed. Very similar to what I'm doing here now. So when I was living in Nungampakam and all, I used to go to Chess Club by bike. And my sister used to go to Stella Maris by bike as well. So, in fact, that's how she kind of stumbled on my chess club. She was going down Kasturanga Road, and suddenly she saw outside Chess Club. Came back and asked her. That's how you discovered things in those days, of course. So.
You basically did your growing up chess learning pretty much in Chennai. Then you lived in Europe for a decade. When you came back to Chennai, had the city changed? How did you feel?
I never stopped living in Chennai. So the time I was living in Spain, I was coming and spending 2 or 3 months a year at home with my parents, and I really thought it was living in 2 places. So it was more gradual than that, but slowly you start to see that the city is changing. More and more flyovers are emerging everywhere. The traffic is increasing and so on. But that was true of all Indian cities.
Do you remember? I came from Coimbatore. I mean, I lived in Coimbatore. If you remember, I was a board boy for you in your Grandmaster title in Sakti Finance. I just moved to Chennai, and I was walking near your house, and your car passed, a red Maruti. You, mom and dad opened the window and, hey, Saravanan, did you remember that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
88, 89, I think.
Yeah, and you also had this bike, electric bike, and used to... But that time we used to go slightly differently to Besant Nagar. So cross Besant Nagar bridge, turn left, then go straight down. I think somewhere there I bumped into you once in your bike. And that used to be the way we'd come, but now there are so many alternate routes, and you connect it all up. Also, back in the day, I remember coming very often to my uncle, my mother's younger brother, and my cousins lived in Mylapore. I used to come there very often. I remember my mother liked Shanti Vihar very much. So we'd go there always to have lots of chaat. Though my mother liked the Chennai idlis.
Podi
idli, yeah. And I used to generally have the chaat. And there also, one of my favorites then was palm tree. And அங்க எப்பவுமே எனக்கு chole bhatura. So I used to go for that.
So you used to have this regular going around the city like everyone else, going to relatives' houses, going out and eating.
Pretty much, yes.
Pretty much, okay. Which year I think people started, do you think people started recognizing you on the streets and so on?
It must have slowly started happening after 83, 84. 1983, I think the first time I started to come in the newspapers regularly. But even then, unless there was an accompanying photo, very few people made the connection right away. So if someone found out your name and then told it to other people, then there would be people eyes would light up with some recognition. But when I became World Junior Champion, I remember for a while I was in all the papers, even magazines. Maybe you remember magazines like Illustrated Weekly and all. They would put me on the cover, and so there was a thing. Then a few months later, again when I became Grandmaster, it happened. And so there were these occasional moments when I would get a lot of coverage, and then slowly recognition went up. But typically, I think my name is more visible than my face. At least back then. Nowadays, of course, with everyone, video and photo quality and so on, that has changed.
I think those years, the Hindu newspaper and the Sports Star.
Yes.
I remember many covers of Sports Stars, especially that red T-shirt one when you won the national championship, beating Vaidya in the last round. I think that was one of the reasons why in Chennai people started recognizing you as well, yeah?
Sure. And typically I would wear the same T-shirts also. So,
Red used to be a favorite color, right? Somehow.
Yes. I had... I picked these T-shirts entirely because of the color and things like that. And I like some of these sharp colors. So
Luck factor?
Probably as well. But simply I like the color and I would just keep on wearing it.
You told me once in a while you used to visit Chennai. So if you remember, you used to call everyone typically for a dinner. All the chess players would crowd up. One of those occasions, I was waiting in the restaurant. You came up with Arvind Eran, the journalist.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey Anand, how are you?" Mudilappa, tirumi porampa. It was so hot. You remember the summer?
Yeah, it depended entirely when you came. Obviously, if someone's not in the know, the glorious months, November to January, and already now it's very hot, and we're basically in the second week of March. So April 15th it'll peak, and then May it'll peak. In fact.
But that way, probably after the World Junior and you camped in Europe, probably you never experienced that harsh Chennai summer ever, isn't it?
It depended entirely. Whenever I was playing tournaments in that period, then of course I would delay coming back. Funnily enough, in higher latitudes, March, April are glorious months when it's getting warmer, but you're still the earth is recovering from winter. Since in Chennai there's nothing to recover from, the temperature goes through the roof right away. But it's true, I'm very grateful when I have any excuse to travel in April or May, except for mangoes. That's the reason to stay in India in April, May. You get just the most amazing mangoes. And because my dad is in the railways, a lot of friends would send us crates of mangoes. And I remember my dad would sit there at the table, cut them, slice it, and then he would, very efficiently with a small knife, he'd slice it this way. You get these small cubes, and then almost in the Kalyanathala, they sweep the rice. My father would quickly cut the mango and then just sweep it, and all those cubes would fall on the plate, and boom, you could do the.
I think நிறைய விஷயத்துல அப்பா வந்து he kind of remind to his roots இல்ல all the time in his life. I think நான் அவரை முதல்ல இருந்து பார்க்கும்போதே பார்த்திருக்கேன். He was always Vishwanathan, you know.
My mother as well, but she would cut it much more meticulously, always with her lips like this. Whenever she was writing any focused effort.
Concentration. Yeah.
But I remember Dad, he would sometimes have these things. He would just sit there, take like 10 fruits and just work his way effectively. And all of us didn't have to cut anything, so very happy to. But mangoes, it's fantastic. Whenever I'm in May, I go to Bombay or something, then it's just fantastic. You get Alfonsos and even the other varieties, but okay, obviously the Alfonso is the very nice one.
That's another thing. Your upbringing, okay, you are the son of the general manager of Southern Railway, I think, but the parents actually stayed very, very rooted to the ground. I don't think you had that way, a posh upbringing or something, and regular upbringing where, the parents stayed very cool to the earth, isn't it? Rooted to the earth types.
Yes, I think so. But my parents were like that. I mean, they were very rooted in where they came from. Anyway, we're coming very close to where I grew up. Not where I was born. I was born in Perambur. Of course, needless to say, all the buildings here look new. But some of the old houses are still nice.
But even in 88, there was probably not a single flat building. I mean, building with flats there. And now it's like full of flats. So, place of your childhood where you grew up, any nostalgia about it?
Sure. In fact, I lived in 4 different locations on this one road. So, maybe once we can go up and down. I'll show you all the places I lived here. So, this is Sterling Garden. It's just coming up in front of us.
Okay.
That was one of the places we lived in.
Okay.
And we lived in that house, right on the front. So, first right turn.
Okay.
And many of my Don Bosco classmates also lived here.
Oh, okay.
Then we briefly lived in these apartments.
Okay.
But that was when we came back from the Philippines and we were waiting for our accommodation. We were staying here.
Okay.
Then once my father was posted to Bangalore, Yelahanka, the ICF factory, and then he came back to Chennai. And we lived in this one.
Rail house.
Rail house. There was a guest house then, so temporary.
Actually, this is the office.
This is the club.
Right?
The club I used to play tennis and table tennis when I was young. And then, but it was right next to, so just next to the club house. That is the CME's bungalow. Chief Mechanical Engineers. There we lived for 3-4 years. There's a photo of me posing with the award I got from Khurana, you know.
Yeah. Madanlal Khurana.
Yes, and
the governor of Tamil Nadu.
That's right. I had the governor, and I had the trophy in the lawn there and so on. So these 4 places I lived.
Okay.
And I was too young then, but Loyola College is just straight.
Yeah.
And we didn't have this cut here.
It was a straight road.
It was a straight road.
Yeah.
So, right in front of us is Loyola College.
You might have forgotten, I also studied there and we have met in the college also.
Oh, I remember well because Bertram, at least have we bumped into each other at Bertram?
Bertram, you never played.
I played Bertram when I was in school.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. After we entered the college, you never
I
played.
Didn't play,
One greatest tragedy about Loyola is it was boys only college those days. I mean, I'm thinking what college life I had. Only boys college.
Well, then you wait for the cultural events.
Yeah.
So every cultural event was an excuse to go and.
Did you ever attend any cultural event in Loyola?
Not really. No, once I was around, I came and I was meeting a lot of my classmates who had gone to other universities. But I didn't really.
Okay. Did you ever have any those typical college tete-a-tete, dating girls going around, gang, those kind of thing at all? when you're in college?
First of all, by the time I was in college, I was traveling so much that a famous memory of my vice principal. Enda vara college. Why do you even bother coming? Because like one evening I was trudging in. So why do you even bother coming? Yeah, this is the CME's bungalow.
Yeah.
So
We'll try to use the Vishy Anand card and we'll try to see if you're successful.
well, if they just close the place with a temporary gate, I don't think there's any entrance which can work. But anyway, this would be where we would enter.
Yeah.
Well, obviously things have changed. I used to be literally the next thing. So it used to be that long entry road. I would come out and go to the club literally. So just adjacent to the club.
And one of those flats also you lived, you said, no? The
Yes,
earlier
we can also
one.
try that one of those.
Yeah, we'll get into one of those maybe. Exactly which year was this?
So my dad came back. We lived 1 year in the Philippines in 1979.
Yeah.
And I've lived in that guest house as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But that is a temporary residence while we were looking for a place. Then when my father came back from the Philippines, before he could be allocated quarters, we were living in another place, but that was Egmore.
Yeah.
Near the railway station.
Yeah.
And these flats we were living for a few months.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So temporary quarters while we were waiting, and then finally we got allocated the CMA's house, and then we got allocated the 2 houses in Haddows Road. One part of the same big compound, but everything. And we lived in this guest house for a while, but I think we can't go in and all. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we can just stop here. Oh, wow. There is
They've got
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a.
Southern Railway is kind of culture in, Tamil Nadu,
Definitely.
Chennai. It's not just a organization, kind of.
Yes. No, and we're very lucky with my dad because we got to travel all around Tamil Nadu in special private compartments.
Oh, yeah. This
So
kind of,
his CME's saloon, they used to call it.
Yeah.
Chief mechanical engineer had a saloon. Then general manager had a saloon. That was a special saloon because air conditioned fully. CME's saloon was nice. You had all these little fans, and but literally our own private apartment, cabin on rail, and so on. So
You used to go to chess tournaments in that?
my father couldn't really take this thing and go. So unless he was happening to go to a town, he couldn't just take and drop me off there. It's not. I mean, he had to actually go use it for work. I mean, he could take us along, so it was a combination. But I've traveled around most of Tamil Nadu because he would have inspection tours all over the place. So we would tag along and go in these saloons.
That's a great experience those days, isn't it?
It's an amazing experience. Also, it's literally priceless. You can't. It's not available on some website where you just go and book a holiday on these things. I think the Paris on Wheels comes close. That is another level of a tourist train.
Yeah, sure.
But it's amazing to have these experiences. Just travel around the state. So what would sometimes happen is my father would be allocated a new house, and then temporarily, he'd be promoted or something, and then temporarily we would come and stay in something like this. Once we stayed in those flats for a little while, but we moved on pretty quickly.
Which exact year was this?
80, 81, 82, somewhere there.
My God.
Because I think after that it was very stable. For many years we just lived in the CME's bungalow here, the one nearby. And a bit later we already moved to Haddows Road. And then we didn't move for the last 4 years. We just Haddows Road. Within the same compound itself, the 2 houses are. So there's a back entrance.
So this was like 5th standard, 6th standard?
6th, 7th, thereabouts must have been here. I don't remember too well now.
You used to play around these grounds, cricket, kabaddi, whatever?
It's a bit of a stretch, but obviously the club was nearby, so I'd go there and thing. And of course, very comfortable to stay and so on. So
must have been quite a pleasure, right, to live in a Victorian building when you're in 6th, 7th standard?
Yes,
large sprawling place.
you ain't seen the half of it. You just have to see the general manager's bungalow.
Okay.
We'll drive past and you just look at the roof. I mean, we had a balcony which stretched a mile,
Okay.
and you can hardly see inside because there's so many plants there.
Wow.
And that was just extra space for us. So we set up. You could dine there. You could. I think it's amazing place. I mean, you have to go inside to see this. It's like some. Literally, these are all palaces.
In certain ways, did this all contribute to your chess? I mean, such a comfortable atmosphere. You could play. You could travel around. In a certain way. Okay, now you can say that in hindsight.
You could say anything, but I definitely consider myself very privileged to have grown up there, and these were some of the best perks of my dad's job. I already mentioned we would have a private saloon, something like that, fully air conditioned. Might even be this one because the windows suggest that it's air conditioned.
Oh,
But,
salon in the sense it's a full-fledged carriage. It's not
Full
like
carriage
a
to ourselves.
small.
No, it's not a room.
Oh wow.
And we'd have 3 rooms inside.
Okay.
So I'd have my own bedroom and then my parents' thing, and there'd be a dining room and
Okay.
the works.
Chauffeurs.
The train is pulled. You would attach to the ends of trains. So, but it was a lot of protocol. You can't just attach yourself to an express. You can attach to yourself to a mail. So we would attach ourselves to mail trains at night and so on. But the expresses were another level, and you couldn't attach very easily to that.
Okay.
So I remember the train would come in, and then we would be in a siding, and then one diesel locomotive would come, attach it to us, reverse, drop. Then we'd attach to the end of this train. Then the locomotive would go off, and then we would head out. So amazing.
What do you say? Thanks, Southern Railway,
Definitely.
for hosting Vishy Anand in his young days. Was this same beautiful, dense, tree-covered alleyway that time also?
Of course, it must have been. I mean, it has been a while. But there we are. That's the previous one. That's over there.
Okay.
And that's. But that we're talking before we went to the Philippines. So I'm talking 76, 77.
Okay.
Thereabout. Then.
You still remember 76, 77? Vividly?
No, but that's the only period I could have been there. And then 81 is the CMA's bungalow. 80, there was a time when I was in this guest house and the other one. And so on. And guest house also when my father was temporarily posted in Bangalore, and so in between houses,
Okay.
So I can recall it like that.
Okay.
But do I remember 76 and 77? No. But in 76, 77, I would have gone to Chesscom.
Growing up, any teen crush, any girlfriend, college, did you chase anyone?
Arvind Swamy was my classmate.
That was not my question.
எங்களை யாரும் திரும்பி கூட பார்த்தா?
Arvind was already smart, is it?
He was already in ads and all. So he was famous as the Leo Coffee open man.
But Leo Coffee was, I think, when he was in college, yeah? Just
I
before
don't know.
Roja
Somehow, I
Tadavati.
remember something in school. He was in some ad, maybe paint ad or there was a coffee ad. I don't remember, but anyway.
In a way, you grew up in this Don Bosco, which is one of the prime institutions of Chennai. And
No, we're coming to the prime institution of Chennai for Don Bosco Boys, Good Shepherd Convent.
So you also used to hang around here?
No, not as much as my classmates. Bata spent a lot more time here. We will be meeting Bata later.
Okay.
But Bata would know. But I think he scoped out all the colleges, all the ladies' colleges and schools and everything.
So as of now, you want us to believe you never joined the party?
You can believe what you want, but that's what happened. So, but again, culturals, there would be a chance to meet some girls and for them to meet us and whatever. So this was my typical route to school as well.
Okay.
Literally like this, turn right, go up College Road, turn again, then get to school. There was an alternate route. What is it, just before the bridge, and then you go down the lake and come from that side, from the back side of Casa Major. But normally this is what I would take.
Okay.
And when I was coming by cycle and all from Besant Nagar, I would turn at Haddo's Road, which is the perpendicular one here. You can see Haddo's Road up in front.
Yeah, sure.
So I would come straight down that and then go up to school.
So you are here on the road, you cycled 47 years ago. That's a long time, man.
No, not anywhere near 47 years. 37 years ago.
37 years ago, sorry.
Must have been just around the time I was finishing school. For a brief period, I had the option to come by bus, as I mentioned, and but bus was more for college.
And when was that tennis happened? You used to hate the tennis early morning.
That
you
is
get
80.
up.
80.
Where was that?
There was a tennis court somewhere near railway station, Igmore. That area we had, there was some tennis courts, and I think Robin Manfred. He used to have these classes, and that's where I got annoyed that I was being made to jog instead of actually playing some tennis.
Were you ever interested in tennis?
I used to play tennis and watch it also, and it was one of the sports I was following then. Of course, our city was very much a tennis power then, thanks to Ramanathan Krishnan and then Ramesh and of course the Amritaraj brothers and everything. So
from your childhood residing place, we are going to your school now.
Yes.
I have a feeling these bridges and all that time had water and it was a river, or not really? It was always the Buckingham Canal.
It was always the Buckingham Canal and everything that it...
Was Chennai as hot as now, those days also?
I would have to look at... I mean, do you really remember these things? It was a hot city even then. I mean, it's not... But of course, the green areas and everything that's paved over, all that has changed.
Okay.
So, anyway, now we're coming to Casa Major Road.
I think this never existed those days, I think, no? This
flyover
bridge
didn't
never
exist,
existed, yeah, sure. When we were in Tall Chess Club, I'm talking about 88, 89 and all, we used to come to the Fonte Plaza and have an omelette here, which was very famous. Have you done those things?
I used to go to, right next to Tal Club. When we go there, I'll show you.
Maris, isn't it?
Maris, yeah. Maris, they had one South Indian canteen. I remember I won 8 rupees in a blitz tournament. And I went there and blew it on a uttapam and one nice dosa and the full sambar chutney works.
All for 8 rupees.
And 8 rupees. And here's the
Don Bosco.
Don Bosco. It's also become quite big, but anyway, this is one gate, and that is the second gate.
So we're going to try our luck and get inside.
Yes, it is open, so you could try.
If someone would allow us, it will be very, very nice.
Yeah.
The gate is closed, but
it is open, but I don't know if there's someone there.
Yeah, let's try.
It's a Sunday, so this fence was not there at all before. And so for us, our lunch places were all along the trees.
Okay.
They have these little benches, and you could sit there and have your lunch.
Actually, இங்க வந்து செஸ் டோர்னமெண்ட் நடத்துறப்போ கேமை முடிச்சிட்டு
There's one more car trying to come in.
ஆமா இங்க வந்து they'll be sitting and playing chess தெரியுமா வெயில்ல. See children chess tournament typically under 8, under 10, under 14 1000 பேரை வைக்கணும்னா கிளாஸ் ரூம்ஸ் are the best இல்ல.
Sure.
Here in Don Bosco, probably the happiest memory of your childhood, the school days?
That's stretching it, but it was school after all. But yes, of course, brings back lots of memories. So typically enter school that side, but it depends which side your class was in. I mean, there were years when I was in the second floor there, and I remember clearly being on that corner window as well.
Which standard to which standard was this?
From 6th to 12th.
12th. Okay.
On the other side of the road is the primary.
Okay.
And this is the secondary school. So from 6th to 12th, I was here.
Okay. Was it all the same that time also? The
No, there have been changes. For instance, now they've put doors over there, but that used to be open. So we just walk in and out and thing. But now, of course, there are doors there because the principal's office and The rector's office is there.
Okay.
So those two, the main entrance, the offices,
Okay.
and the labs were all behind. The physics lab was in the ground floor, behind, and so on. I mean, you have to go inside. We used to have assembly in the ground floor out there. It's just literally straight behind.
Okay.
Now they have an assembly upstairs as well, and so you have two options.
Okay.
So some changes, some things stay the same. Our lunch tables have all gone. So we used to have these short benches that you could sit on, and literally stationed between the trees.
Okay.
So you would have these 1 or 2 benches depending on what would fit, and you could have lunch there.
How does lunch like? Thair sadam?
Yes, thai sadam, some curry, whatever. And,
Okay.
And also between those benches, we would have, we'd play this game croquet. So you can ask Bata.
Yeah.
And recently we organized our World Croquet Championship. Just everyone who has studied in DB in a certain range, so not yet a global sport. But and I've seen Bata very often after class. He would come and play badminton. He would come and play basketball. He'd tap around. We used to have a tennis court over there, a full clay court over there, but now they've removed it and put a goal.
You used to play that also?
I played tennis there. I think some of my inter-school tennis competitions I've played.
Okay. How was school like? Were you reprimanded anytime, just like any other, punished?
Once the principal is announcing my name at the assembly, and exactly then I decided to skip assembly, and I was sitting in the class, finishing my homework which I had not completed, one of those things. And once there was a paper fight, so all of us were throwing paper at each other, and like it was not very bright. I didn't join in. Then in the end, I got so irritated with the things landing in my head, I checked, I think, 1 or 2. And exactly then the principal was standing behind the window. I should have guessed that the reason they all stopped wasn't because I had gotten up, but that the principal was at the window. So things like that, but mostly unscathed through school.
Was it co-ed? Co-education?
No.
Okay. So you're unlucky there also?
You could say that, yes. Which is why we had to always look forward to the culturals and things like that. But I think most of my classmates, I wouldn't call them unlucky. They managed to find their way to where the girls were.
I sense a tone of regret somewhere there. My classmates did that. My classmates did that. I never did.
I was at chess tournaments. What can I say? But
we all believe you.
Exactly. But a lot of my Good Shepherd is not very far away. Things like that. So they got round. My classmates got round. Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Exactly. So,
what is the sharpest, most pleasant memory you have of your school?
many of the teachers, now whenever we get together for class reunions, I think everyone imitates some teacher, one of their favorite teachers, and that's a lot of fun. And just going back to our school days.
Were you the favorite teacher's pet those days?
Reasonably, I was one of the so-called good kids, stayed out of trouble and things like that. But I think that teachers now, they remember everyone fondly. Passage of time, even students who used to get along pretty badly with some teachers, now they love them, claim to love them. So, everything looks different after some time. But
great memories, yeah?
Yes, and of course, I came here every day for 6 years. So.
So, moving on from the school memories, now we go to more precious memories. Tal Chess Club. What does the name invoke some thrill even now?
Very much, but I would like to go via Hados Road if possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I'll show you where my father retired before we think. That's the best house of all, the general manager's residence.
It's on the main Hados Road.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we need to stop, but I'll just we can pause there, and I can show you that balcony.
It was typical of those days, no? Like huge houses belonging to government for guest houses. And
well, it still is. It's still it's one of the biggest perks of railway life. That you get the saloons and the uh, residences.
Oh, the salons are still operative.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know,
that has
people
stopped, but of
prefer to
course
have
the
them
general
anymore.
manager still lives there.
Ah,
So, for instance,
okay.
and so on. But as you saw with the CME's residence, they're already reconstructing in some way, and so some changes are afoot, some are not. We'll see. And they used to have these places where you could do pull-ups. So they used to have these. And there was things. So I would sometimes cross here, come here,
Uh-huh.
and do pull-ups on those bars, and then go back. So somewhere here.
I remember it used to be a hyperactive kid, but the exercise part I didn't know. Some are here, is it?
Yeah, there was a time when I would do like 20 rounds around this house.
Oh, wow.
And okay, hang on. There you can see the general manager's.
Oh, that is
In fact, still the thing.
beautiful.
And you see the balcony on top.
Uh-huh.
It's enormous. And especially on for Diwali and all, my parents would put oil lamps all over that place, and so on. It's amazing. We can see it again here.
Yeah.
So this is the entrance to the general manager's house. You can still see there IG, RPF is the Railway Police Force.
Yeah, sure.
So the official designations. And
This
this
one,
is
right?
the thing. And
Okay.
they maintained a serious, it's a botanical garden.
Oh, wow.
It's a serious botanical garden.
Yeah, I can
But there's
see
a
many
running track
things.
around it.
Okay.
And the Indian embassy in Nairobi, the Indian ambassador's residence in Nairobi has a very similar structure.
Uh-huh.
So when I went there, I suddenly thought of my parents'
Wow.
time here.
So
So
this
at
how
some
many
point
years?
when it was decided that I should probably do something about my fitness, I would run all around this path. You can see there's the outer road
Yeah.
that I could follow.
Okay.
But yeah, and there might be quite a few changes inside.
Okay.
But excellent lawn. Sometimes my father would have official railway functions here.
Okay.
Like he roasted dinner for all the
Yeah,
CMEs. Then everything would be set up there. And I connected to Kaveri. From this side, I would go straight.
Kaveri as in?
The Kaveri was the bungalow. There you see Anand Singh, general manager, this thing. But all linked up. And then from the back side, you can go to Haddow's Road.
Okay.
Nungapakkam
High Road.
No, you can go to Nungapakkam High Road, where there is another big railway colony.
Okay,
And we lived in one house there for a while.
Okay. This was which year?
This
This
was 85.
Okay. This is simply beautiful, Anand.
Yes.
This place is simply beautiful. That's
Yeah,
a
now you
British
can see
building,
it.
Victorian
Yes,
building.
of
Okay. They haven't changed anything even now, I think, yeah? It remains what it is.
I'm sure there are a lot of changes on the inside.
Okay.
I once saw one of my classmates has a relative who's now general manager here at Southern Railway. And they had put on Facebook post he had dinner in that place, and then you could see the same place, yeah.
Tal Chess Club, when I used to attend, they used to screen movies in Tal Chess Club. Was it there when you used to play
Yes.
around here? Oh, okay.
Because that is the inner auditorium where they would sometimes have the prize giving.
Yeah.
That was air conditioned.
That's
so it
where
was
one of the
very,
Indian Bank Opens were held, right?
Correct,
Rapid,
yes.
yeah.
Part of it was held there, part of it was held outside because there were not enough space. I think top boards were put there and some of the other boards were in the other room.
You also done the movie thing and then dinner at Maris and all that?
Yes, I've done those, and I think they used to even show these old cartoons. And when I was that age, that was fun to watch. Another Chennai landmark, which is of course no longer what it was. This used to be a drive-in, right?
Yeah, Woodlands
And
Drive-In.
I've come to so many movies, and just sat outside with a car.
Oh, Woodlands Drive-In Theatre had a movie hall.
I think there was once a movie.
Okay, because when I moved to Chennai, already it was just a restaurant.
Yeah, I think
Drive-In
earlier they
restaurant.
might have. I remember they've screened some movies there.
Oh, wow.
But the nice thing is they would come with this attached tray, attach it to your car window, and again dosa chutney, all the sambar and everything. You can just eat that, or take the tray and eat it inside your car and watch a thing. I remember at least sometimes there were movies there.
Here we are going to Tal Chess Club, which has produced countless grandmasters.
That's
and
one
international
back
masters.
road to Boys Garden, but
The Chief Minister, erstwhile Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha.
Well, there you see the Russian flag, but it used to be the Soviet Cultural Center and then transitioned as the Russian one.
Okay.
And if we drive further down,
Uh-huh.
we can see the Tal Club. Maybe they still have it.
Okay.
Or at least we can see the building where we used to
Ah.
play chess. But then it was open. Later on, they closed it and air conditioned and so on. But of course, the time when I was playing, it was open. But I remember it didn't feel hot. It was just quite nice and lots of breeze. So here, you will see this.
Door used to be open, right? To get straight into the Taj Club, or no? Only one door was
Yes.
open.
Oh, it's not even there
Anymore. Yeah,
anymore.
It's closed.
But this place
Uh-huh.
used to be just an open, almost like one of these. I mean, there were pillars but no walls,
Yeah.
and that's where most of the blitz games used
take
to happen.
place. This was our hall, right?
Yeah.
This very room was our
But I
hall.
think it's changed beyond all recognition.
Yeah. Now it
so.
has gone moved into the center room actually.
Hmm.
A former player of your generation, Ebenezer Joseph, he used to conduct classes
Correct.
here still. Yeah.
Sure.
Anand, Tal Chess Club, the fondest memory of Chennai probably ever.
Yes, definitely. Again, from Nungampakam, it's not that far. Very easy to get to and back. Today is a Sunday. Sunday it was of course open from 11 till 7.
Yeah.
So you got and then just back in after 7, you could go home and still catch the movie. So perfect Sundays. But this has changed beyond all recognition. The actual Tal Chess Club is a building over there.
Corner.
There were no walls, just a few pillars. So you played in an open thing. You could walk in and out easily. They had a little storeroom on this side where all the chessboards and clocks were put. And for me, I can picture it again, but it's not there, so I can't show it to anyone. And
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday it was open, if I remember correctly. Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Correct.
Thursday.
Monday evenings 5:30 to 9:30. Thursday evenings 5:30. Saturday only second Saturdays, and Sundays the 11 to 7. So
You made your boards here actually, yeah? அந்த மாதிரி இந்த கமிட்டி போட்டு எல்லாரும் உட்காந்து ஒருத்தர் ஆடி அடிக்கிறதுக்கு.
exactly, all the ganging up, all that. But that was part of the fun. You got a big group together, and probably the place I came to the most without any need to.
Yeah,
So
once
just
again,
voluntarily.
it all happened nicely, right? Soviet Indian friendship that time, they used to send grandmasters to give simultaneous here. That Bagheera simultaneous, where you offered a draw in a rook and bishop thing, was it in this place again?
It didn't actually happen in the Tal Club, I think.
Uh-huh.
Somehow I remember it happening somewhere else. Maybe Mr. Kameshwaran found an income tax something. It could be. It might have been in some other building. I don't remember very well. But it's not my recollection it happened here. I seem to think it's some other building, but I can't place it.
Okay.
But yes, where I offered a draw, and I think it was. I think Bagheera came probably before I left for the Philippines. So.
And you offered me a draw here in a simultaneous year.
Did you accept?
1988. And you played some tournaments also here, I believe. That time.
Lots.
Lots.
They used to have all these weekend tournaments, and generally it was a hive of activity. They had so many tournaments here. எதுக்காவது ஒரு எக்ஸ்கியூஸ் வச்சுட்டு ஒரு டோர்னமெண்ட் நடத்திடுவா 2 நாள். Sometimes கிளம்புற Saturday, Sunday you play 3 rounds and 3 rounds, something like that. Or 2 and 2 is also an option.
They had this Mahatma Gandhi Memorial for school children. You have played that? School students and college students. I played that. You have played that?
I stopped playing here roughly 83.
83.
After that, I would visit but not really come to play like that because I was competing much more in national events and all.
Okay.
I think 76 to 82 is when I was coming here to play chess all the time. And 83, I remember school holidays, I came and first time I scored 6 out of 6 in one of these weekend tournaments. Just before the Bombay national team championship, I think. So, but I would guess that by '84 I was not playing here that much.
The most memorable incident or memory here from Tal Club? One of the prize distributions, I remember you said, Indian Bank Open, which used to be conducted here, you came for the final day prize distribution and said, to make our lazy grand international masters play, they made a knockout tournament here.
Was it knockout?
It was a knockout for 2 years. Then it became an open again.
Okay,
Rapid
okay.
open. Yeah.
I remember winning that Indian Bank Open one year, and my parents coming for the prize ceremony and everything.
To be politically right, the most important moment of your life where you met your life partner, Aruna. How was that? You can be free with us.
I'll tell you when we go there.
Postponing it to the last.
No, it's just I don't feel like saying anything and then waiting for your place to point. I might as well. We're going to stop there, I hope. And then
Sure.
we can, I think again, lot of these properties look so different because they've been developed since. But anyway, there's the crucial turn to the right.
Crucial turn in more than one way.
Yes.
So this one?
Yeah.
Right turn. Okay.
And now it's a eye clinic. I think.
Ah.
No, sorry, the Agarwal people live in this.
Okay.
But her house used to be there. Her grandparents' house was next to it.
Okay.
And there used to be a small gate connecting the two properties. This used to be
Where she lived.
Where she lived.
Okay.
And her parents lived here, her grandparents lived there, and that's how she grew up.
Okay. How was it like? You came, you met her.
So
before
typical,
marriage?
her parents came home, they exchanged horoscopes, all that. And then I came here to meet her and met her over here.
What did you do exactly?
Nothing, we were supposed to talk. It's as awkward as it sounds. I mean, you come there and then you suddenly expect to speak to her, and so we tried to slowly make some conversation. What do you do? And then it was both of us agreed, and
She was
we were
working in the
engaged.
mass communication.
she was working in an
company that time?
agency contract.
Okay.
And also we went to Chola Sheraton for our first date. So Peshawari, and I
First.
took her there, and then
Okay.
like that we tried a couple of nice restaurants. Once I was in, we were just finishing dinner, and I was
Mhm.
coming out. Arvind Swami walks in.
Wow.
So both of us just start talking, and she's standing there thinking, when is he going to introduce me? But I completely forgot to introduce her, so I just kept talking.
Okay.
Very not my great finest hour, but
This was
afterwards,
just before marriage.
before marriage, after engagement,
Okay.
and we came out, and then I realized, but okay, I was not used to yet that you're not married, and somehow the idea that I should introduce her didn't cross my mind. But anyway, as I
Arvind,
said, not
Arvind-
my finest hour.
Arvind Swami himself did not ask, who is this girl with you? He
I
knew
kind of
everything.
left her in some place, went and spoke to him, and came back, and so it was. I think after that, Aruna discovered, realized, or was determined never to overestimate me.
Of course.
So I think
Continues
we
till this-
get the we
continues
get the
till this day?
exactly.
Anand connected over the WhatsApp only. In school, he didn't know any of them. He'll call me separately and ask, hey, was he in our class or was he in our school? So, there is a backstory in which your share came down very drastically.
Which one?
So whenever I try to spice it up, any girlfriends? No, I didn't do anything. My friends used to be there, but I used to be in this convent, but I used to be in this ladies' college. I was
His
never
share
there.
went up,
At least
not down.
down.
தப்பா ஒரு புரிஞ்சுட்டு இருக்காரா?
No. Yes, in 12th, there was this girl came and told that she proposed to Anand via me.
Please tell us.
So I
We
cut
need
it.
more details of this actually.
So I cut it down straight away, saying he's not interested in you. He's more interested. His focus is more on becoming the world champion.
We believe you with that.
So that's the end of his romantic.
Nijama.
Amma nijama.
In the school, in the class.
It's St. Michael's. So Anand, have your dosas. That's a
Fantastic.
onion rava, and this is a ghee roast with your chutney and sambar.
Yeah.
The onion rava is a Matsya classic, just like the rasavada. So the onion has to be a little burnt. That's the perfect onion rava dosa.
School days also, you guys used to go to your restaurant and have
Yeah.
food.
Even whenever he's around,
Uh-huh.
we'll head to Matsya. So he had a
We finished the 10th standard exams, plus 2 exams, everything, all reunion. Matsya.
all reunions was in Matsya. One was it was very close to DB, so just down the road, and secondly I owned it. So, but the favorite part of his school was his school bag or the school box which he had. It was a rectangular piece. When all of us had sling bags and backpack types, he had
That aluminium. That
no. It was like not
Metal,
a fiber,
not metal.
not metal, but it had those metal on edges. I think. But it was I don't know what material it was.
Everyone knew me as the boy with that bag.
With
so
that
yeah,
bag.
It was that special.
What was it about?
Nobody carried a bag like that.
There's no-
Like a huge
that.
box in the Philippines.
Ah,
Philippines. So it was made by some different material, and it had wheels. It's kutty wheels. It's like your cabin crew bag, you know.
Ah.
Nowadays you have the cabin luggage,
Yeah.
but it's a smaller version of it. And he used to
It's perfect. All the books would go
all
in
would go
easy.
in, even the record books and all that. And he used to pull it. I tried my hand sitting on it. Maybe I broke the wheel. But that was iconic. That bag is more than his chest.
Remember my dad's car.
Yeah. That was a Chevrolet, right?